Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the BNI San Diego podcast. I'm Andy Cruz filling in for Ed Wilson today. Thank you for joining us once again. And today we have a special episode for you. We have two local creators here in town, and we're going to have a tabletop conversation about what it looks like to do media and content creation in 2026 as a BNI member. And we're going to specifically talk to those of you who have maybe been on the fence a little bit. You're not sure exactly what to do. Where do I start? Who do I talk to? Am I even asking the right questions? How do I know if this is the right thing for me to do? So today we have invited Jennie Edwards and Gavin Ha, both BNI members who are great at what they do when it comes to the creative space. We each have some similarities and overlaps, but there's also some very unique things that we do differently as well. So I want to make sure we talk about those things today. And we hope that you leave today's episode leaving encouraged and confident that you too can create a space for yourself in the digital areas that you want to be seen in to increase your visibility, credibility, and ultimately your profitability. So Gavin and Jennie, welcome to the show.
What a giver's gain introduction there. That was, we didn't have to say anything. Immediately, we just stand there, smile. Andy just put us on the tabletop. Thank you for the intro.
So first, let's introduce each of you to people who don't know you, haven't met you, either training or at events, things like that. So tell us, what chapter are you in and what is your role in that chapter? So Gavin, you go first and then we'll have Jennie.
Hi, everybody. This is Gavin Ha of Visual Rhythm. I am currently in BNI Growth Unlimited in Chula Vista, and I specialize in video marketing, content marketing, and especially with the skilled trades and real estate. And I'd like to pass the mic over.
Thank you. I'll take the mic. Thank you. I am Jennie Edwards. I'm the founder of Guided by Imagination. We are a boutique video storytelling agency that guides business owners and companies to tell their story, to captivate and magnetize their best clients through video.
Now, the first thing I want to ask you guys is, what already have you been hearing about from members in the brand new year? What are they either asking you about? What are they noticing that maybe they had some time during the break to kind of sit down? We're all watching something on our TV, our phone, our tablet, or whatever. Have you already had people telling you, hey, I need help in the new year? Are people asking you for help? What is it they're asking you about?
It's really funny that you mentioned that. Actually, during the break time, some of my fellow members or some of my clients themselves would call me, hey, I just had a nice 2-week break. Where do I begin? It's almost like a brand new beginning just because everyone's shifting in from vacation mode back into grind mode. And that was something I heard. I don't know about you guys. Was that something that you guys encountered?
Yeah, I had two people already contact me. It's like, hey, we need to start a podcast in the brand new year. So, okay. So those were conversations that are pending. But yeah, it was like this, it's like this conclusion to the year brought this conclusion of, okay, I'm done waiting. And now it's time to start. So I've had two of those since New Year, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to add that it is the best time to start now. Anytime, even if it was towards the end of the year, you got to start. Just every time you're constantly in motion, you're out there, and that's what's going to help you and your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And consistency, because it's the consistency that really builds trust.
100%.
And if you're not showing up, then people see you as inconsistent. I mean, it's just like when you look back at BNI. I've been a member for now almost 15 years this year of BNI Synergy near La Mesa. And it's been what I've noticed with BNI. It's like you show up every week. You build that trust with people. And if people aren't putting out their message or connecting, they're not saying top of mind, ding, 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 with their prospective clients.
So what's one of the ways you've been able to kind of share with people the importance of the consistency? Because that's honestly one of the most fearful things I know people talk to me about is, well, this is an additional thing I have to do rather than this is a core part of what I need to do to continue marketing. It's like showing up at your meeting, like in your membership, you show up at your meeting, like you need to be there, you need to be visible and present, and you need to participate in it. And it's the same way in media space. I don't think that for everyone that's clicked on yet. So how do you advise people to take it like that seriously, that they need to really commit and then show up all the time?
Mm-hmm. Well, I like to align with what their values are first, because then I think it's more meaningful for people rather than like, here's this regimented thing. And I'm a creator and you guys are creators, so you get it. You want to create more flow and more ease, and how you can help people create systems, easy strategies that are maybe even like habit stacking, things that they're already doing in their life. Hey, Monday morning is when I'm doing my outreach or my follow-ups. Like, let's just do some habit stacking with creating videos or creating content. Like, set it all up or schedule it and automate it. I mean, now we have so many tools with AI and so many great ways that we can automate to stay in action.
That's really good. That's really good. Gavin, what's something you tell people when it comes to them like worrying about being consistent?
I wanted to chime in on this. I'm glad you asked. And great points, great pointers there. Essentially, one of my clients, I'm going to pull my clients. I won't name the names, but he's in real estate. And one of the things he said to me literally last week, he said, "Hey, Gavin, I have this great idea and I was going to have this and this." And he had this amazing vision. Now, the problem is once it gets really elaborate and it gets grand scale, it becomes overwhelming. So what I helped him do, speaking of systems, I created this easy plug and play system where how can we do this daily? And then I gave him the golden motto, progress over perfection. And if you can stay consistent with a very simple formula and you're doing it consistently, you can improve over time versus having it ultimately perfect and then never doing it versus building it and making it perfect as you grow.
Yeah, I had a conversation yesterday with some other fellow directors, and we were kind of on the side talking about how, some people they freak out because maybe media isn't something they've ever done, or they just don't like doing. I don't like having my photo taken. I don't want a video camera on me all the time.
Right.
I don't like my whole life being shown, and that's fine. Like, we're not asking everyone's life in its entirety to be shown all the time, every day,
following you around.
It's
24/7.
There's a 24/7 live cast of Gavin's house and Jennie's office. But the thing about it is, like, we show up to work every day and we're there. We interact with clients every day, either on the phone, online on Zoom, or in person. And so we are seen, we are heard. And, we commonly myself have to commonly remind people, like, hey, people already love you and care for you for the way you look and sound. And there's this like this mental block that sometimes, like, we will apply a layer of criticism to others' content that we don't, we apply a layer of criticism to our content, but that we don't sit and watch someone else's with. We don't have that same level of judgment where we're watching someone else's stuff. Yeah, literally different lens.
I actually wanted to quote you here because you were doing if any of you guys are in the leadership teams in your chapters at the leadership training, Andy was doing a specific presentation on, I think it was education coordinator.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that in the similar fashion where the EC person or the EC team, they're out there every day and thinking that if their presentation isn't perfect, but what he did was he had a hat on, he took his hat off and showed that, hey, see, I'm bald. No one cares though.
No one cares.
And
no one cares.
What was really funny though, just a quick funny story was that when you said that, I was about to stand up with him and go, I'm bald too. But he was making a point. But essentially, no one really cares what you look like or what you're doing, except that they're trying to gain momentum for what you're saying and how it relates to them, and how, because ultimately when you're out there, you're trying to provide some value. And if people can latch on to something that they relate to, I think that's really where that really matters. Mm-hmm. And so another thing is the 3 C's we talk about in B&I all the time. Oh, no, sorry. Was it visibility?
The
VCP. Sorry. I did 3 C's. Long break. Well, VCP. So visibility, credibility, and profitability. So it's the same thing. So if you can apply the VCP onto your own content, I think it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, that's a great way to kind of summarize that. Because if you're not visible, you need to get visible. If you're visible, try to become credible. If you're credible, try to turn that into profit.
Yeah.
Jennie, what's a way that you've been able to, like, help people kind of overcome their hesitations in creating content? Talk about the value of that and how people can themselves, even if they don't know you or Gavin or myself, how can they talk to themselves in a positive way to remind themselves that they are confident in what they do? They got a 20-year storied career. Get on camera and talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it starts with gratitude. And gratitude can lead to confidence. So looking at, hey, I'm grateful for, these are the things that, even sitting down and journaling, starting with something that is actual visual. I'm a visual learner too. Mm-hmm. And I love having affirmations and mantras and things that makes a huge difference in my life because my nickname's Joyful Jennie. And so bringing that joy and bringing that through and then helping others really see the possibilities of who they're being. It's about who you're being. Every moment and every day you get to choose who you're being. So you can either be like frozen in fear and like, deer in the headlights and scared of this inanimate object that's capturing this. What am I going to say and how am I going to say it? But then you can also choose to be, I'm a leader. I am confident. I have done all of these things. I'm stepping up. I'm stepping out. I'm magnetically attracting the right clients to me, and to be in that kind of energy. And there's a variety of ways that, you can do that with, of course, I mentioned journaling, meditation, listening to affirmations. I always recommend things like that, preparing to be in front of the camera, or having accountability, an accountability partner, setting goals. I actually have a fun little video accountability club that I like to guide people that are making their own videos. Like, just get into action and state your goal at the beginning of the week, and you get some boosts of encouragement throughout the week. And then I'll give you a little feedback on your videos, and then you keep growing and kind of meeting them where they're at. But even if you're doing it on your own, just having an accountability partner, maybe another BNI member or someone that you respect their opinion and their feedback, to help lift you up.
Yeah, someone who talk to you honestly, and you won't have your feelings crushed in the process of that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Be your cheerleader. Yay.
I want to highlight that, though, the gratitude portion that you had mentioned. It's that confidence booster to look back at their own accomplishments. Any of these business owners or members, they forget that they've done a lot of stuff because they're always constantly in the flux of being busy, staying in tune with one-to-ones or any of the BNI activities. But you forget that, hey, I started a business from scratch, or maybe I partnered up in taking that risk. Take those elements of your life can be inspiring to somebody. And that starts from the gratitude of what they've done in the past.
Well, let's jump off there. And I didn't know I was going to ask the question this way, but it kind of reframed in my mind real quick. How do you guys address imposter syndrome? When people join BNI, they have like their first meeting, not the best as their second meeting and their third. You progressively get better at your meeting experience. You might have been in your law career for 20 years, but you have your first BNI meeting. You may be in your law career, you're having your first video, you're making your first podcast, or you're making your first vertical short or whatever. How do you help people overcome that imposter syndrome that makes them feel like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I don't know how to do this. I'm not a news anchor. I'm not a Hollywood person. What do you tell them?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to jump off right there. And this is freestyle. This is not pre-planned. What I think is that even now we're here 9 a.m, and it's been a while since we were on camera, possibly. Maybe you guys were on camera yesterday, but I feel that I have to warm myself into it. So I look at doing media or being in front of a camera similar to running. It starts with the first step. And maybe you haven't ran in about a week or 2 weeks. You just take the first step, the next step, and you just keep going. Now, what does that mean? How does that translate into being in front of the camera? Well, from being public speakers like you, one of the things what we do is when we connect with the audience, and usually when we're speaking in front of a live audience, even in our chapter, when we're connecting with each and every one of those members, what we're doing is we're reiterating what we're doing. We're trying to connect. It's not about us. And I think what it is to take ourselves not only to make one step at a time, but to remember that we are not trying to focus on ourselves. We're focusing on the other people.
That's really good. Yeah, I think we get too self-aware sometimes.
Exactly.
Like, oh, how's this and how's that? Am I doing this? And it's like the person who needs your professional service has a problem in their life.
Exactly.
They're looking for you to solve their problem,
Exactly.
not looking for if your hair's straight. That's probably a bad example coming from me right here. Right?
Jeez, Andy, call me out.
Do those things matter? Does how you show up matter? Yes, absolutely. But it's not the ultimate thing when it comes to someone choosing if they trust you or you're credible in your career. Your tie could be crooked, but if you've done what you do for 20 years and you're successful at it and you help people with their problem they're having, personal or professional, there's trust in that. So do you have anything you want to add for imposter syndrome? How do you help people with that?
I have a word that's a really important word for me in my life. And I even named my daughter's middle name.
Oh, wow.
It's grace. Grace. To give yourself grace, because it doesn't have to be perfect. When I started my YouTube channel in 2009 or something. It's like my first video. I mean, yikes. It could have, but your first is your worst. So if you have that mindset, it's like, my first is my worst. That's okay. I'm going to trust the process. Trust the process. And through the process, you can give yourself grace that I'm doing it. I'm in the flow. Like you said, it's progress, not perfection. So we can keep encouraging each other and not be so nitpicky on ourselves or comparing ourselves to others, because there's only one me. There's only one you. There's only one you. And we get to shine. We get to shine our light. We have the opportunity to do this, especially with video and photos, to really step out, separate ourselves from the competition and shine.
So I want to talk about why that's so important in this day and age, because, we've been in a massive digital space since 2020. We, when B and I couldn't meet in person. It was like, okay, everything's on Zoom. And then some chapters went back, some chapters stayed hybrid, some are still online. But like you can't ignore that, like video and digital content is like, it's a fixture of our life.
100%.
Every single day, it's part of our life at some point, or multiple points in our life. I saw this stat the other day. I wish I just forgot the source as I'm bringing it up, that we pick up our phone on average 144 times a day.
Oh boy.
And I was like, and so my immediate thought was, do I do that as I'm holding it? Like, reading this stat on my phone. Oh shoot, there's one. There's one there.
Feel our pockets, make your like,
so in an arena where like everyone's making content all the time, for the people who aren't making any content at all, why is it important for them to start?
Well, in this day and age of the Truman Show, if you don't watch that movie, you haven't seen it, where basically you share your lives. But the thing is, we're sharing our business lives. And if you haven't done any content, what I'm thinking is more of, it's like you say to business owners, have you done sales? Well, I'm not a sales guy or anything like that. So here's where I'm going with this. If you say you don't do sales, but ultimately you're selling something in your business. So doing the content is really, you're extending a piece of yourself out there and leveraging a tool called video or content or digital platform to multiply yourself ultimately. And that's and knowing that if you do this, you can leverage yourself much faster. And why wouldn't you want to do this as an example?
Absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah. And you're leveraging your time because people are looking for your business at like 2 a.m. and you can't be
one of those times, hands up on the phone.
They have a problem. They're like, yikes. I'm on YouTube searching for something, and then they find you at 2 a.m. and there you are with an added value message, and that sticks in their mind. And that's important because we can't be everywhere at once, and we want to elevate our business and our brand. So video is such an important way to do that.
You just reminded me of something. A while back, I also was in a sales training course, and someone had mentioned or asked, hey, there's so many salespeople out there. What can we do to stand out? And someone had mentioned that when you turn on the radio, if you guys still listen to radio, there are more than one stations out there. So what that means is that if you go out there thinking like, oh, no one's going to like me, but maybe you might be for someone will tune into your channel. So maybe they're really into the gratitude thing. Maybe they're into that comedic element. They want to tune into somebody else. So really, you might not be for one person, but there might be an audience out there for you.
Oh, yeah. That actually sparks a really neat concept that I heard. You guys know Lisa Nichols?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I saw her presentation one time, and she was speaking into video media and how when you're talking, you're not thinking of like, there's all these people that are watching and it gets overwhelming.
1,000 people in a crowd,
Deer headlights.
But to just think of that one person, there's one person that's watching right now that needs to hear this message.
Boom.
And just really feel into that message.
That's it.
Because like you said, it's solving these people's problems that are watching you and just really knowing that you are the solution.
Something I like reminding people of is, that video you watched at 2 a.m. in the morning, they did not know that you'd be watching at that moment. just as
Exactly.
you don't know who's going to end up watching the thing that you're saying, that you do, that you're good at, that people trust you for. And in BNI, there's a lot of things that we do as part of our BNI meeting, our one-to-ones, our weekly asks, our presentations that demonstrate and reveal the things that we can be trusted for. So I'm going to kind of point blank right out the gate, say, like, if you don't know what to talk about on video, every single week you have an ask that there's something to talk about.
Yeah.
You also have a one-to-one worksheet that has like your bio, your gains profile, your top 10 your best 10 clients, your contacts. There's all this content that we can be talking about in video spaces or in photo storytelling as well, that are right at your fingertips as a part of your BNI membership. So look right there as a instant resource for information you're familiar with, you probably talk about regularly, that you could be sharing in mediums just like this. So I want to like kind of lay that out there. What are some of the things that you are right now telling people that they should be sharing about? Is it more a balance of personal and business? Is it that they need to be sharing solutions? Is it they need to be sharing stories? Is it they need to be promoting? What are some of the things you're telling people they should actively be creating these days?
Just to go off of the third point that you mentioned, stories. I think stories are very important. Your story is your glory, as I like to say it. And what happens is that, yes, there are probably multiple versions of people doing your business, right? But they're not you. And when they hear your backstory and they know how you got into it, that might be relatable to somebody. And ultimately, that relation can turn it into a business transaction. And I'm not saying that you're purposely trying to sell all the time, but because you're out there being vulnerable to show the real you, I think that can lead someone to gravitate to your business or you in general. Just and us in BNI, we're always trying to build our network, trying to connect, make meaningful relationships, partnerships, referral-based relationships that you never know who you're going to meet, just to quote you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, Ivan Meisner talks about stories as you're wrapping up a value in a story. So you wouldn't, maybe as a talking about credibility, we'd be like, I graduated from Harvard and I did this and I did this. But instead, you could tell a story about something from your university experience or something from a mentor, a guide. And that can spark, like you mentioned, something within. So, oh, I've read that person's book. Yeah. And, oh, I love that. You worked with them or something, these meaningful nuggets that within the storytelling that really reveal the humanity of you.
Yes.
Of you as in your uniqueness. And it's so much more heart-centered and amazing to connect that way. And we know this through BNI because especially being in the room and the energy and things like that. But when you can't physically be with someone, to be able to reveal more about who you are, that touches people, that creates that connection, that creates that conversion and being in your clients.
Valid point. Genuine connection is still huge, especially now with the phones. People are very distant, even though they feel connected. But if you hear someone's story and you know them, especially when I watch different BNI episodes, just to shout out the podcast, I get really excited when I see some of the members in your chapter that I know personally or even you. And it's just like, oh, wow, I didn't know that part of Jennie, or I didn't know that Andy was into golf. And just to throw as an example.
Yeah.
but really that blatant explanation, when you find that you didn't know that about somebody, you can see that through the one-to-one that you had or during the BNI meeting. So this is a further extension of showing another element to who you are and why people should do business with you.
I want to ask, or I want to give you both a chance to kind of address the question I get a lot, like, what kind of content should I make? Now, we specialize on the podcast part. I am not a photographer. I will tell you, just because you have a camera does not mean you take good photos. I'll be the first one to say that. But, when people are thinking to themselves or listening to this or watching this, what kind of content should I make in 2026? How would you answer that question? How would you help guide them towards coming to an answer on what they should be making and what they can maybe skip and they don't have to make, if anything?
I want to double down on YouTube. As you already know, Andy, you do a lot in your presentations, and just as myself, and I think you probably share this as well, YouTube has surpassed Netflix as far as viewership. Building a YouTube channel in 2026 does no harm to you. Actually, it benefits you because you have an elaborate station or headquarters of everything about you that you want. And it doesn't have to be personal. It could be everything about your business, all your specialties. And you could have that headquartered there. And you don't have to force feed everyone. People have the leisure or their own autonomy to go and search for things within your channel.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not
so
specific, but like
Yeah.
YouTube throwing content that could be educational. And at some point, you can educate your audience to the point where, hey, maybe I don't want to do this. I need to find you. That education can lead to.
Yeah. Well, and for those of people who are hearing this YouTube answer, maybe for the second, third, or 90th time, make a YouTube channel. YouTube has a variety of digital media you can put there. You can put photos as a community post.
Yep.
You can do the long form video. You can make shorts. There is also you can mark your show or your conversations or your videos as podcasts in YouTube Studio, and they get ported over to the YouTube Music app in their podcast category. So
Powerful stuff.
just so you know, when you make a show like this, it can be in all those, like not necessarily totally omnipresent, but I guess omnipresent in the YouTube space.
Yes.
And also maybe omnipresent everywhere else. We're going to come back to that in just a second. But Jennie, what kind of content are you telling people they should be looking at and making in 2026?
Well, I love short form content, reels. People are familiar with that. People are watching that all the time. A lot of people are doing Instagram, of course. And I would also really obviously take a look at where is your audience, where are they looking, and don't shortchange LinkedIn, because you can put posts on LinkedIn. There's so many things that you can do with LinkedIn, especially as a BNI member. That's a professional platform. So you can really leverage your BNI membership and all of these connections in a powerful way, because you've probably been on there for years, but maybe don't use it very often.
100%.
But kind of resurface that as a possibility. And then I also want to cheers for YouTube, because it's owned by Google. It's part of this major ecosystem. And to have those things that can show up organically and get more reach and searches and things like that, and be, like you said, your home, this place where people can binge watch you and really see all these different categories with your playlist. It's not just going to get like other platforms where it just gets piled on. But on YouTube, you can see things in a fresh way and more easily accessible.
And I want to add on to that. And here's why you should still record yourself. Because yes, we have AI. You can clone yourself. But here's the problem. Everyone is looking and sounding the same with AI. Why not stand out as who you are? And that's so easy.
Yeah. Again, for those of you who are not yet putting content on YouTube, it even asks you if there's any altered content. So they're already splitting the road of altered versus organic content as the way it's indexing videos when you upload it. So for those of you who don't know that, you know what? Ask your fellow camera nerd; they'll help you out. But if you're already on YouTube and you're putting up videos, this when you upload the video, it asks if there's any altered content. You have to say yes or no, and that is going to make a difference when it comes to indexing and search and all that. The other thing is I kind of mentioned omnipresence, and for those of you who are hearing that for the first time, the idea of being omnipresent in digital space is you're just everywhere at any time, all the time. So that means you have LinkedIn, you have YouTube, you're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat. Did I forget any of them? You're right. So do you guys like that idea? Do you dislike that idea? Where do you see omnipresence as a strategy? Or do you think that's just like sling and slop out there and it's not a good idea? What's your opinion on that?
Go.
Well, it's funny is that I was prepping for my new presentation coming up in about a month or so. I was thinking about this, and I wanted to say that I'm not against being omnipresent. However, I don't think it is a benefit or one size fits all for everybody or all types of businesses. Here's where I'm coming from. So as a very simple analogy, if we were talking about like apples and oranges, let's say you were a fruit seller, and can you be omnipresent everywhere in real life? Could you be an Escondido? Yes, you could split yourself by hiring different people and putting in different stands and do different farmers markets. But would it be beneficial? Now, what if you were to be intentful to say that, okay, well, my audience, if I'm a plumber, they're probably going to be on YouTube most of the time because it's easy and everything is accessible that way. And knowing that, why don't I double down and go full YouTube versus LinkedIn, right? So my customers won't be on LinkedIn. And so that is a very blatant example of where omnipresence might not apply to everybody. So that's where I see it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I think it depends on the person, because omnipresence to somebody that doesn't make videos or very rarely does is overwhelming. And it puts people in that frozen mindset. So they're not moving forward.
Yeah.
I would say start with something. Start with one platform that, like you mentioned, is where your audience is. And then you can always expand.
Yeah.
So that's
100%.
something that I like to help people, my clients, look at all the different platforms and kind of find out what's right for you. Where are we going to put the videos? And then not only just social media, because like you mentioned, it can be like throwing spaghetti at the wall and like posting and praying.
Yeah.
Please like my video, like and subscribe. No. But instead, we could leverage the videos to referral sources. We could
100%.
create those videos that specifically are for referral sources and create that more of a giver's gain situation. And almost like a power team, you have within a power team, you have those relationships with those people. Why not create videos for them to be able to refer you more? And that would be so much more resourceful than just throwing it out there.
I want to cross-examine you guys or ask you guys. My thing is that when I'm on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube and I jump back to LinkedIn, it's a whole different world. You can see the tonation coming from different people on there. And I want to see what your guys' thoughts are. Do you guys see a difference, the way people are doing their dialogues? It's always, especially on LinkedIn, it's always some type of value-based, and it's always some type of, here's a few nuggets for you guys to take away.
I think it depends. I think there's broadly different audiences on LinkedIn than there's on TikTok. People go to TikTok for a much different experience than they do on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn's existence it's got a lot longer history and for a much different reason than TikTok does.
100%.
And so I think there's an argument to be made for some content goes in some places and not others. And then some content can kind of just go everywhere. So there's a hybrid version of, you can be omnipresent if you want, but my experience is, well, wherever you're going to be, you also have to manage.
Yes.
So if you're going to be on 7 platforms, you're going to have 7 DM direct message boxes and 7 content or comment fields to check out. And you're going to have to engage in those things, because if you're not engaging and responding, then you're going to suffer the consequence of being an inactive poster and community member. Because the systems reward participation and engagement. Let's just say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a cause for both, but selectively. I think starting first, if you haven't started, is really important. Start in the place that you hang out in. If you hang out in LinkedIn, make content for LinkedIn and just make it for LinkedIn. Now, the caveat is, if you're going to put it on LinkedIn, the best way to do that is to share your YouTube share link. So it's got to be on YouTube. You could put a direct line on LinkedIn, but then it's just going to be there. It's going to be hard to share. But aside from the technical comments, I think wherever you are already, go be there first. And then you can add the others as you can and are able to, and decide that it's important to. We just had this conversation as a region. So for BNI San Diego, for this podcast, for this exact show, we started it only in 2 places. It was YouTube and podcasts, like audio podcasts. Mm-hmm. And then it branched out into being also cross-shared on Facebook, which then equals Instagram. So our shorts kind of go across all those mediums. And then coming up in this new year, we're going to start showing up on X. We're going to start showing up on TikTok, and we're going to start showing up on LinkedIn. Because what we have recognized in the region is that the people we want to attract more of into BNI San Diego are also on those places too. Mm. They are on X, and we're not. They are on TikTok, and we're not. If there's a generation coming up behind us, I'm flirting with the 50s, guys. It's someday I won't be here doing this, but the next generations of BNI members are going to be coming in. And, people like my daughter who works here, there's going to be a place for her in BNI at some point. And that generation speaks a different language, and they hang out in different spaces.
Twitch.
So we have to start being there. Oh, Twitch.
Come on, man.
We're going to have a Discord channel next?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're not doing those yet this year. We're going to start showing up in some new places. So soft announcement. We're going to be showing up in some new places this year, but it's for that reason.
I want to add on to not only just starting, you should make sure to find something that you find fun within doing this. If there's something fun that you love talking about, take that as a starting point, and then that will be the reason why you want to do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really good. So the other thing is let's address kind of the platform issue. So the advantages and disadvantages of doing it yourself or hiring someone else to help you with social media management or with your content. What are some of the like guideposts you'd say are like hallmarks that you should do it yourself and hallmarks that you shouldn't? Do you have things that stand out to you as creators that go, oh, these are the characteristics and qualities I say someone who can do it, and these are the characteristics I recommend, I soft suggest they should hire somebody?
When one of the biggest guideposts I would say is when you start losing time and it's straying away from you being on top of the business, and you are constantly like, wait, when did I become a video editor? When did I become this script editor? Yes, you have all the tools, but you're now buried in them. And if you're buried in the tools, I think that's a sign that you need to talk to one of us.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree. And if it's not fun,
Yeah.
then it's important to look at how you're delegating it. Like all of us for our businesses, we want to stay in our genius zone, right? We want to
100%.
do the thing that really lights us up and gets us excited. And if we can really get clarity on what is that genius zone and what are those tasks, that it's like the 80-20 rule, right? So take a hard look at all the tasks that you're doing. And if you're getting like, you're juggling all these things, and then you're like, oh, I'm stuck in this. Like, why am I editing this video at midnight? Yeah. So
2 a.m.
delegate.
Yeah. I have a funny story for you guys. My first YouTube video I ever made was back when I was still originating loans. I was a loan officer, and I was so frustrated by getting the same question every week after week after week. And I was like, that's it. I told my assistant one day, I was like, Gigi, that's it. I have to make a video. I'm so sick and tired. Like, I was like angry at my sales job that was paying me very well at the time. It was so stupid. I was like so angry that I had to answer this question all the time. And so my first video is explaining how to write a letter of explanation. And I tried to be all like cool, like I wasn't like under the surface so frustrated. Like, hi, this is Andy Cruz from. I was super robotic, and I was like, and today I'm going to show you how to fill out a letter of explanation. First, you're going to get it, and I did it because it was a screen share. There was no face. It was just me talking over my screen recording with my cursor moving on how to do this, and it solved a problem for me. I ended up being able to share that with people who'd ask, hey, how do I fill out this letter of explanation? Here, watch this video. And so it became a time saver because I took the time once to do it out of frustration, admittedly, and then it turned into a time saver because then what that triggered off was, oh, wait a minute. That's not the only question we get asked every single week. We get asked these other 20 questions multiple times a month. So I kept a list of all those things, and then that became my videos to make list, not my Andy's frustrated by answering his question list. I just like crossed the top off like, videos to make, not Andy's upset by. Yeah. So if you're in that same situation and you're in BNI, like I get asked these questions all the time, make that video. You can do a screen share. You can record yourself on Zoom for all I care, but do the thing. And that's what ultimately I got to is I just have to do this. Even if it's me sitting at my desk, doing a screen recording, talking about a document that I'm describing, it ended up being a time saver, and it just had to start.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to add into the first video share here. I grew up only, I didn't have cable TV, so I would see a lot of these infomercials online. And at the time, simultaneously, when I was learning video for myself, I was a salesperson. I was selling cameras at the time. And I was like, I was figuring out how to sell better. And so when I was recording myself, I thought it'd be funny to imitate a salesperson as doing my own infomercial. And I figured out how to do the graphics where it said like call 1-800. It was all fake. And it had the Visa and MasterCard logo. And I learned,
great.
But the point is through that, it actually enhanced my salesmanship because I learned to be more concise with my ideas. So I said, call in the next 5 minutes and we will get you a bonus gift. And that ultimately boosted up the confidence. So ultimately, you just got to start from somewhere, and it could be with your phone or Zoom. We all don't care. but join us. It's fun. And not only this is that we're really helping our own businesses doing this at the end of the day.
But wait, there's more.
But wait,
there's more. That's right.
Exactly.
Call now, get two. The second one free. Well, something I wanted to, it's just something I want to share with everybody, and I hope this doesn't sound like being a dead horse. But you're either standing at your meeting every week or sitting in front of your screen every week, and you're introducing yourself to your chapter audience of 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. If you can stand in front of 50 people in a room or 20 people in a room and have them all look at you in real time, then you can absolutely stare at a lens and say the same message.
100%.
It's actually a lot easier. It's not as threatening or frightening as you might think it is, because there might only be one person in the room on the other side of the camera instead of 50 people looking at you, that live audience versus recording message. And here's the thing about cameras, guys. You get do-overs, except on this podcast. One shot. Yeah, you get do-overs. So, loosen the like expectations you have on yourself.
Yes.
To coin your term, like, give yourself some grace. Like, absolutely give yourself some grace. You can do this. If you have a 5-year, 10-year, 15, 20-year career in your profession, you can absolutely do this. If you've stood in front of a BNI meeting and introduced yourself or done your feature presentation, you can do this. And we want you to do this in 2026 because as a whole unit, there's a unified county-wide effort for media with BNI coming, and we want you to be a part of it as well. This is going to have other distillations, like some chapters are to run social media accounts for themselves, and there's social media managers inside BNI in San Diego. There's a lot of creators. There's wonderful photographers, videographers, content creators, storytellers. I even met someone recently who does live audio visual. I'm like, oh, good. I cannot do that. I'm even equipped for it. Now I got a guy I can refer. So in any variety of medium, I just want to really emphasize, like, you can do this. And it's not just because Uncle Andy in the corner is yelling in the microphone about it. We work with people who felt the way you're feeling right now, even though I can't even hear you. I know the way you're feeling. And Jennie and Gavin and myself have helped people overcome those and feel successful and confident in making their content. So with that, do you guys have any other final words of encouragement, any other ideas you want to share, nuggets of knowledge that you want to leave the audience with today?
I got 2 rhymes. Find your groove to make the move, and progress, or is it not a rhyme, but progress over perfection.
Yeah.
Very good.
And also doing things that create movement and energy.
Yes.
Energy. So maybe listening to a favorite song right before you do your video, so you kind of get the energy flowing. You're feeling great. You're like, I love video. You see that?
Oh, man.
You just coach yourself into it and be like, I got this.
I'm stealing that one before we do any recording.
I already know there's someone watching this going, that's not me, so I'll just hire Jennie.
Yeah.
she can dance this and get me ready to go.
But even if you weren't comfortable, we don't mind standing to be on camera for you as well. That's another option as well.
Yeah, there have been times where I've stood with members or interview members here because they're not going to fire on the camera at their house. So cool, come here, let's talk. Let's have a conversation here, and that way, it eases the on-ramp to being seen and heard and known. So
great time.
Yeah, I really think. Well, first of all, this is for everyone who's watching and listening to this. This is kind of the first of a series we're going to do this year. We're going to talk about content and media every quarter during the BNI San Diego podcast in 2026. As we're ramping up for the region, as we're also getting new creators joining as members throughout town, we're going to be getting other insights and, as much as possible, trying to keep up with everything that's happening. Yeah. It seems like every day something brand new gets launched, changed, or it's accelerating at a rate that we can't keep up with, but we're all going to do our best. And so I thank you guys for coming to this show today. And I'm really looking forward to all you joining us next time when we have other creators and also probably some repeat guests, because we're going to go over this show and also track and monitor how things are working this year. And then let's make some moves and some adjustments along the way so we can help chapters get more members feel more qualified, and increase our VCP for all of the members as well, and also for the region. That's one of my goals. So
thank you for allowing us to come together, join forces, and make this really work and help a lot more people.
Yeah. That being said, my little ask for the day here on the show is, if you see Gavin, myself, or Jennie at a training or an event or on a Zoom meeting, or you see any of our other BNI directors and they want to talk to you or ask you a question and you are okay being on camera, giving a testimony about BNI, how it's changed your life, how it's changed your business, how it's helped you learn or grow or scale in a certain way. We're going to be gathering stories throughout the year. So look for us at events because we're looking for you. As I like to say, I shoot people for a living, and so do my friends.
I like to say we capture the magic, right? We capture the story.
Yeah. Sometimes I use my camera. No, wait. I always use my camera. Sorry. Wait. I always use my camera. Last
Make sure
thing.
you have your camera license.
I'll just share this funny anecdote at our planning meeting when they were asking for us to talk about stories and what are you guys going to do for storytelling this year. I said, well, you guys have all heard the term, when all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. And when all you have is a camera, everything is content. So get ready.
Yeah.
So get ready. The content train is coming. So Gavin and Jennie, thank you so much for being here. If you would like to reach Gavin or Jennie, you can find their contact information in the description box below. Also, please be sure to forward this show to a fellow member in your chapter or to another person in your region. If you're listening outside of San Diego, send this to your executive director, another director on your team, or maybe even to some members in your region who can go and multiply the playbook we're kind of talking about here and encourage your members to do the same in 2026. So we thank you so much for watching the BNI San Diego podcast, and we'll see you again with another great guest next week. Bye.
See you.
Yeah. Woo.
This episode of the BNI San Diego podcast has been brought to you by Cruz Productions, a San Diego-based video production company and proud BNI member. You can find us at the intersection where business and creativity meet, or online at cruzproductionsinc.com.